Hi, my friends. In the scheme of things I'm excited to show you, this is right at the top. I saw this on Instagram from the creator, Tarot_midnight. Let me make sure I've got that right. I always mix up whether it's Tarot first or Midnight first. It might be Midnight first. Let's see. Midnight. Tarot_midnight. Created this deck, Tarocchi 23, by Gurgeli Begameri. I'm probably I did sort of look up and practice and have failed. So I apologize, Gurgeli, if I said that wrong, but I love this deck and I'm very excited to show it to you. This came from Europe and it arrived pretty quickly, considering. I am obsessed. I love it. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting delightful little spreads without really telling you much of what they mean, because some things are just for me. But I want to show off the deck. So good. So Tarocchi 23 is a Marseille, Minchiati, Italian-esque sort of blend, mostly Marseille. And it's like, you can just look, the box is so simple and clean, and this deck is simple and clean. This is the back, just this beautiful kind of peachy, pinky color. And it's a whole delight. And we're going to walk through it now. I love it. I really do. I knew as soon as I saw the pictures of it, and I think Justin Michael was the person I first saw post that this was available, and I immediately bought it and was like gagged. I just love the clean simplicity of the deck. The lines are great, but what also is really ticklish to me are the facial expressions. Somehow all of these cards look like Betty Davis to me, and I mean that in the best possible way. I love it. There's no titles on any of the cards, so if you are new to Marseille or Marseille adjacent or Marseille scented decks, I would recommend just familiarizing yourself with the traditional imagery before going over to this one, just because you need to kind of know what you're looking for. You don't need the titles on this to see it, but you have to kind of know what you're looking for. Did I invert the Emperor in the... I did. No, I didn't. Oh, you know what's so dumb? I always do this. I invert the Pope and the Emperor. So like, you sort of like this globe here is the thing that you want to recognize the Emperor, and the key and the cross obviously are the Pope. So just, again, it's, for me it's a little easier to see the title, but I kind of like that these don't have it, because it just makes everything so immediate. But I love it so much. Like, I really just, aside from the thing that I always say about modern Marseille decks is that they're all paper white faces. No one really looks like that, and so you could argue, that they're not white, but they're white. You know what I mean? But other than that, I love it. And I love that everyone has, like, pink or blue hair. I love the addition of purple into the color scheme. If you aren't fond of Marseille color schemes, I think the addition of some not-so-common colors here are really going to make you happy. And it makes me happy. This is going to be, like, among the decks that make me happy kind of happiness. I love this death, this sort of dancing punk death, temperance, this devil, again, very neutral, and that's what I love in a deck. Obsessed. Just obsessed. Now the star, the moon, and the sun are very Italian, not very Marseille, which I like quite a lot. Just really dig. Dig. That's the cover of the box. Just, I love it. I love it. I love its simplicity. I love its cleanness. I love its freshness. I love the faces. And really just have nothing but delightful, delicious things to say about this. Sort of up there with my glee over the Marshmallow Marseille, that kind of delight. For sure. So the pips are Marseille style, and they are the pips, and I like them. But the quartz I really like. which we'll see in just a moment. I have used this in a client reading, so there's that. So there's the page. And all the knights are like, is that a centaur? I think that's a centaur. The queens all have this like Marie Antoinette hair, and the kings are all sitting. So that's another, like, that's the thing you need to know, right? So traditionally in Marseille, the page will stand with their element. The knight is usually on a horse. Here they're part of the horse. The queens are obviously queens, and the kings are usually sitting. So that's sort of how you can tell the difference if you're unsure. If in this case, because they don't have titles. Now, I will say I just did a reading with this, and I inverted the Pope and the King, so the Emperor. So I read the Emperor as the Pope. In a reading, I tend to not freak out about that, because my mind connected to the card. You know what I mean? It became kind of central to the idea of faith in the reading. So I don't freak out about that, only because, in my mind I thought I was looking at the Emperor, and so it kind of was the Emperor, if that makes sense. If the Emperor and the Pope had been together, I would have seen the difference. But, like Yoav Ben-Dov said, really, everything that happens in a reading happens for a reason. And so if I misread the Pope as the Emperor or another card that way, I don't freak, because it served its purpose, and it was the card that my mind wanted to see there. So I don't freak. The Suit of Cups is one in Marseille I always really hate, just only because I hate yellow and red together. Like this is the thing that kept me from Marseille cards for a long time, is that I hate the primary colors together. Red, blue, and yellow together are the ugliest combination. To me. So, but it's fine. I've grown to love it in the sense of Marseille. But someday I will make a Marseille that's sort of my own, that uses a completely random color scheme. But the pink hair, I dig. So I love the courts in this deck very much. And here we are in swords. So this cardstock, when I took it out of the box, I was like, ooh, it feels really nice. It's got a really nice finish to it. It reminds me of the Millennium Marseille. But I thought it was going to be tough to riffle, and it's not. It's actually riffle shelves really nicely. Now, this has kind of a waxy feeling to it, but it's not that rose petal thing that is hard to slip. But what you're going to notice is you can see sort of friction marks, which doesn't bother me because I like my decks to look like I've used them. But if you are sort of freaked out by that, then I, just buyer beware. But I really like this cardstock a lot. It feels really sexy and silky to hold, but it's not slippery in a bad way. It riffles actually better than it overhands, which I will demonstrate in short order. The Queen of Swords might be my favorite queen in the deck, but I'm not sure, because they're all pretty fierce. And then we come into coins. I have a lot of Marseille sort of floating around. So we've got the Tarot des Ambiguïtés, which I really loved and showed off. So if you haven't seen this walkthrough, go check out. It's called First Impress. And then I have two, actually that should be here today, which are sort of refreshings of the Dodal and the Vivet from Artisan Tarot, who published this. So Marseille all day. And I tend to get very Marseille-ish in the winter for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's all the bleakness. But I really, truly do not find this bleak. I find it fresh and sexy and fun, and I just love the courts, and the color scheme, and it feels traditional, but new. So let's just shuffle for you, so you can see how nicely it riffle shuffles. Of course, whenever I shuffle on camera, I always make a hash out of it. See that? It's just buttery to shuffle like that. The sharp corners will also create little markings on the back. You're not really going to see them unless they're in a raking light, as Julian Baumgartner would say. Internet crush, YouTube crush, Julian Baumgartner, Baumgartner Restoration, like art daddy, just crush. So yeah, it shuffles like a dream. And it overhands nicely too. There's a little more sort of static, I would say, or grip. But actually it creates a really interesting experience because when I cut the deck for the reading I did earlier, like it cut really high on the card, like not usually like in the middle. But I kind of like when decks have a little vacuum that they create, because where they cut seems so inevitable, because it's like where the deck wanted to cut. I'll lace them out just to see, but I just truly don't have enough nice things to say about this. I'm truly delighted by it. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's fun and fresh and usable and shuffles great, and it's just sharp and immediate, and the lines are just crisp and delicious. And there's our Emperor. And yeah, it just looks so good in a spread, you know? It's like this is the Beyonce of Marseille, in a way. Hey. So yeah, Tarocchi 23. I'll leave the link to the creator's site to buy this below. Just adore it. Really, truly adore it. I feel like this video should be longer, but I just don't, like, it's just, I mean, I could lay out another 9 cards so you can see what that looks like. Just because I just really, there are decks that you just sort of want to, like, grab and touch. This is a deck that wants you to grab it and touch it. Just really love working with it already, you know what I mean? I did a little spread last night that I posted that was just like reading me to filth in a really funny way. And I don't really read for myself, but it just was exactly what I had been talking about minutes before and sort of calling me out for my defeatism. But love it, love it, love it. So yeah, go buy it immediately. Take that. Be good. We'll talk soon.